Welcome to The Sound, KQAL-FM's weekly behind-the-scenes look at Midwestern-made music. From writing and recording to distribution and promotion, The Sound is your source for new releases and exclusive interviews from Midwestern artists. Support for The Sound is made possible by a grant from the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Rolling. Tonight on The Sound, we bring you the latest album by Gregg and the Wrecking Ball, titled Live at First Avenue. And yeah, as the title indicates, it's a live album recorded at First Avenue in Minneapolis. If you've ever seen Gregg and the Wrecking Ball live, then you know we're in for a treat tonight. Based out of Crosse, Wisconsin, Gregg and the Wrecking Ball are local favorites. They're a hell of a band, and they always put on a hell of a show. This album is full of heartfelt and hard-lived stories, along with some tender moments and some real barn burners. And from the way it sounds, they really lit it up at First Avenue. But don't worry, it's still standing from what I hear. I'm Bill Stoneberg saying get up, get down, and get ready for Gregg and the Wrecking Ball and their new album, Live at First Avenue, tonight on The Sound.
Old Killer and the boys are cruising on their toys on their way to the whole guy, whole guy.
Girl, love you till the end of time. And now I'm throwing down doubles. I'm getting
That was Sitting Here Thinking, and that's the first track from the new album by Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball called Live at First Avenue. Gregg is from over there across the river and through the woods over in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and we have Gregg on the phone. So used to talking to you on the phone. And we have Gregg in the studio with us tonight. How you doing, Gregg?
I'm well, buddy. How are you doing?
Great. I'm doing great. So we, like we were talking before the mics went on, we talked not that long ago. I think it was last October when we talked about Exit 222. Mm-hmm. You did a Kickstarter for that, recorded it in Nashville, and now, wham, here's another album, a live record, Live at First Avenue. Dude, I guess the first question I have is like, do you ever get a break? Do you?
Yes. You gotta do those self-care breaks, even if it's like an hour here, an hour there. But, yeah, well, I enjoy my job, so. And you just got to keep shucking and jiving. I mean, We're not getting any younger here, Bill.
Right. This is true.
I've been at this for 25 years.
This is true. Anyone who's seen my beard can attest to that.
Absolutely.
Not getting any younger.
Yeah.
Well, what I was wondering, like, man, is this like calculated, or did things just time out this way? Because you've been cranking a lot of stuff out,
Well, with this one, we opened for the Big Woo,
December
of 2023.
Okay.
And right before we went on, Mike, the sound guy, he said, hey, well, for $100 I'll multi-track it.
Oh, wow.
And it turns out this was the first gig they had upgraded their PA. And one of my sound guy nerd buddies said it was like the best PA in the club that size, like in the world or something crazy like that. Right. So we got it into the studio and the mix was just so clean. And I wanted to always make a live record, and what better venue, Live at First Avenue.
Right.
I mean, it felt good to just capitalize on that opportunity. And big thanks to Mark Joseph, MJG Productions, for giving me that slot. And the Big Woo, it was funny, the Big Woo said it was the easiest decision as a band they'd ever made.
No way.
Let's have Cheech open. Yep.
Oh, cool.
So going to those Big Woo family reunions back in the 90s, loving the Woo.
Right.
Years later, it comes around, so
Pays
it's always
off.
just good. You never know.
Right, you never know. And that's a testament to like the strength of scene, right?
Absolutely.
Having a strong scene and everyone knowing each other.
And doing each other favors. I try to do Mark is the hardest work I do. Mark has done if you're a band in our little scene in the Midwest, since in the last 20 years, Mark Grundhofer, Mark Joseph, has done you a favor.
Right.
If you're any good.
If you're any good, right. If you're worth his
even
favor,
if you're okay.
Right? Yeah, sure. He'll help you so you maybe get better, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. Oh, man, there's so much to talk about with this album. I absolutely love it. And like I said, I do. Man, like I saw this, we were texting the other day, I don't remember about what, but then you mentioned, hey, let's do an interview for this album. And I was like, oh, holy bleep, I totally forgot, I can do that. Because I was just sitting, hanging out and enjoying it, for the last month or so. And I think for the same reason you had mentioned before we turned the mics on, like, live, it's fun. It's a super fun album, man.
Absolutely.
So let's play another tune, and then we'll come back and talk some more. This next song, it's the second song off the album, Legend of Butcher Holler. And again, before the mics came on, I had told you, like, this has quickly become one of my favorite tunes. Especially hearing the story behind it, that we talked about last time. Absolutely love it. And I think everyone has something like this in their past, or characters like this and things like
absolutely.
that. It's just so cool. So let's let people hear it here, and then we'll come back and talk some more. I'm here with Gregg Hall tonight. Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball. They have a new album out called Live at First Avenue, which, like it says, it was recorded live at First Avenue. Here's the second track of it. It's called Legend of Butcher Holler, right here on 89.5 KQAL.
So anyway, here we go. Come on, guess holler, down in Butcher Holler. The best moonshine in the great Midwest, think you bet your bottom dollar. Every time I take 7, it'll make me hoot and holler. Come on, get a swaller, down in Butcher Holler. Up yonder on the hill, there's that little cabin where it keeps that moonshine still. Here's the crackling the girl from the bubbling batch of brew. It's his homemade version of that good old Mountain Dew. He ever cross him, you'll meet his toaster fist. So come on, get a smiler, down at Butcher Holler. Let's moonshine in the great Midwest, you can bet your bottom dollar. Every time I take 7, I'll make the hoot and holler. Come on, get a smiler, down at Butcher Holler. Dozen 12-ounce jar. If you come uninvited, you're gonna stand a chance. I'll get one right between the eyes that's singing across that fence. And if he is your buddy, hell, he'll be your bestest friend. But if he doesn't like you, he'll freaking shoot you dead. So come on, get a smiler, down in Butcher Holler. Let's get shine in the great Midwest with a bet your bottom dollar. Every time I take 7, I'll make the hoot and holler. Come on, get a smiler, down in Butcher Holler. Come on, get a smiler down in Butcher Holler. True story.
That was Legend of Butcher Holler, and that is a second track on the live album that just came out from Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball. It's called Live at First Avenue, and we have Gregg in the studio with us tonight. So you said it just kind of, this album just kind of happened because you were opening for the Big Woo at First Ave, and they just said, "Hey, you want to record it?" Like, that's amazing.
I mean, yeah, and that, probably the easiest record I've ever made.
Yeah, well, that's what that's what I was wondering. Like, what goes into making a live record and the planning and stuff. I was thinking about that before you showed up, and then you're like, no, it just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Did that so when they said that? Did you go and like start changing the set? Did you do anything like that?
No, I mean, it was like 5 minutes before we started to play.
Wow.
It was right, so we and the first 3 tracks didn't get on there. They were still trying to figure it out.
Oh, wow, really?
So,
because it sounds like this is the set.
Yeah, yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. Well, I moved a couple things around, but for the most part, it was right on. It was cool. We got a couple of the White Iron guys. Actually,
cool.
Sitting Here Thinking is a White Iron Band song.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
We got so it's not just my band. We got Suffering Sam, the White Iron Man, on guitar on a couple songs, and Hondo on the B3. And
nice.
So that was really cool. Added a little bit of extra.
Right. Oh my God, that shows too. That makes it just like, I don't know. I'm a sucker for organ. So
and Hondo's got one of them B3s with Leslie and our buddy. I can't remember his name, but he customizes those up in the cities. So
really,
it's not the funnest thing to carry around.
I know. I have 2. They're not B3s, but I have 2 like prosumer grade or whatever Hammonds in my garage. One of them, dude, has a Leslie speaker on its side built into it.
Oh wow, cool.
But I need some repairs done on it. So I need that guy's number. We'll have to talk later.
Yeah.
But so then what happens? Okay, so they lay this on you 5 minutes before you go on. You go on, you do a killer set. Now what? Like, how does it turn into an album? We
uploaded up into my friend Sean Truskowski. He has he's this guy from Nashville. He moved to Sparta, Wisconsin, and started.
Oh yeah.
Can I see that CD?
Yeah.
For those people out there interested in recording a good record in a really awesome place, it's a super professional dude. Azle Valley Studio. Sean Truskowski. He ran a studio down in Nashville.
Okay.
He's a really good drummer. He's drummed for the Wrecking Ball.
Oh, cool.
He's actually on. He's on one of the songs.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and then we went in there and just tweaked a couple things and mixed it all together. And there's like one song, it was a new song, Butcher Holler, where I kind of through the lyrics.
Oh yeah.
So we spliced one of those in there, and then I swore during one song, and son Waylon's like, Dad, you gotta fix that. So we actually
wow.
took friggin' from Exit 2-2. Because I dropped the F-bomb.
Right.
And we just cut that little part out and put it in there.
Oh, wow.
But other than that, everything's pretty much dialed in.
That is funny. Oh, wow. I love it. Well, that's interesting. So you did touch up a little bit, you know. Because I was going to say, I didn't realize, like, stumbling over lyrics. I didn't hear any of that. So
there was just one line in Butcher Hollow. 'Cause I just wrote that song.
Okay.
It's pretty nerve-wracking being up on that stage.
Oh,
too,
my God.
So.
I bet, right?
But it's good to be uncomfortable. It's how you grow up. Not just as a musician, but as a person, too.
Totally. And you've played that stage before, right?
Correct.
Have you done it as the Wrecking Ball
Not
before?
the Wrecking Ball.
Okay.
Just White Iron a couple times.
Okay.
We did a Tom Petty thing. White
cool.
Irons played a couple gigs there.
Right.
So
very cool. Well, let's get into some more music, and then we'll come back and talk some more. I'm here talking to Gregg Hall tonight. Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball just released a live album from First Avenue. It's called Live at First Avenue. Here's another track from it. This is called Livin' Locked Down, and you're listening to it on the Sound right here on 89.5 KQAL.
It's called Living Locked Down. A little bit of the blues, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 1. See in 2020 in their rearview mirror, man, it was a living hell of a year. Now it's gone. I ain't got one good thing to say. I'm sick of living locked down every night and every day. I heard it on the radio, I seen it on the news. The whole damn world's got pandemic news, and I'm wrong. Oh, why we living this way? Well, I'm sick of living locked down every night and every day. I got this one, boy. One more time, brother, one more time. every day.
that was Livin' Locked Down, and that's a track from the new live album called Live at First Avenue from Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball. And we have Gregg in the studio with us tonight. Gregg, so I was also, as I'm looking through this album and listening through it and stuff over the last month and so, I'm like, wait a minute, there aren't, besides like sitting here thinking, I don't know, are there any other covers? I think they're all your tunes, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all my tunes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And usually it's like live records, you usually have that little Easter egg like, ooh, this cool cover by this band or something. Was there any thought like, oh man, I want to include that? Or were you just like...
Well, we only had a 45-minute time slot, so I just wanted to do all originals. And, and Matt Putis, White Iron.
Right.
It's all kind of
a...
Let's steal each other's songs.
It's a family
like
thing, right?
Just always wanted to promote not just myself, but my buddies.
Right.
I try to do one White Iron Band song because there's so many. They made so many records. And there's a lot of B-side songs that, we don't even really play out anymore.
Great tunes.
We do play. It's good to just keep that momentum rolling, even if the song's already recorded. Doesn't mean it's...
Totally. You can still redo it, right? Yeah. I know I've said this quote a million times, but I'm going to say it again because it works. It makes sense. I was talking to Charlie Parr one time, and he said, I think we were specifically talking about cheap wine, but that's kind of irrelevant. The point was, I said, look, you've recorded this song on so many albums, and I just asked him point blank why, and he said, well, it's not done yet. And then he laid it on me. He goes, when I consider a song totally done and written, like it's not going to change anymore, he goes, I stopped playing it live.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that just never even occurred to me that someone would, approach it that way. So yeah, you can re-record stuff forever and ever, really, because it's always
he knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's doing, right? Totally. But they're living. They're kind of like living things, They evolve, right? You have different players playing with you, whatnot, you know. So I always find that interesting. I think that's pretty cool. Oh man, the tune we just heard. I'm getting a little mixed up, but we just heard "Livin' Locked Down," right?
Yeah.
So that tune, dude, really, you say it when you introduce it. Here comes, this is a blues number, something to that effect, right?
Yeah.
Really showcases your vocals, I think, on this, and your guitar playing, right? Along with great female vocals. I don't know who that is.
That's Alexandra Green.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's
so good.
She is super good. And her partner, Cale, is the guy on the fiddle.
Oh, is it fiddle?
Too.
Oh, cool.
Cale Olson Reed. And
okay.
Yeah, they've been playing out as a duo and stuff too. They're very talented.
Cool.
She's a big-time songwriter. And,
okay.
But Cale's a monster. He's one of them dudes that can play mandolin, fiddle, guitar, bass. I don't think there's anything he can't play.
A string guru, right?
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, and then, and let's not forget you. Like I said, showcases your vocals, great, your guitar playing. Do you ever, how do you view that? Do you, is it like an excitement, oh man, I get to really, step out on guitar on this tune? Or do you get nervous? Hey, I got to...
Well, the blues was my thing forever. So the blues, I'm really comfortable there.
Cool. Right.
Doing, we've done the Allman Brothers tribute thing.
That's
and
right.
And I grew up listening and rubbing albums with dudes like Howard Guitar Lukey and Joe Price.
Right.
And Randy and Billy Hem. So that blues is kind of where it started.
It's kind of
and the Dead and all those
sure.
bands. And Zeppelin. It's all blues.
It's all blues. Yeah, totally. Yeah, if you're not comfortable in the blues, then you're probably not comfortable in rock and roll, really.
Yeah, because that's what invented rock and roll.
Yeah, totally. But man, I thought it was great. Just love hearing that.
And it's about that, COVID, living locked down, just being stuck at home,
right?
The pandemic blues, man. That was a thing for everybody. And,
exactly. Totally. Anyway. Man, there's so many good songs on this album, and like I said, it was hard to decide which ones to include and which ones not to. But this next tune, dude, I absolutely love this. It focuses on place, which is something I really dig when artists sing about where they're from or coming home or leaving home, whatever. The Hoka Polka, dude.
Yeah.
Love this tune. Oh, I'm going to have to bleep that out. I just said that, didn't I? But I love this tune. Dude, so first of all, and I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to confirm this. This is an original, right? You wrote this tune?
I wrote it about the little town down the road.
Right.
Holcomb, Minnesota. Where I know all these people that live there, and it just we were driving through Hoka, and we were on our way to a gig, and my pedal steel player at the time is like, "Is there a song called Hoka Polka?" And I'm like, "There's gonna be." So then we played in Brownsville, like the next town over, and I wrote it.
Nice.
On break.
No.
And then we played it that night.
Nice.
And the next day, somebody had recorded the whole thing somehow.
No way.
And the next day, it had like 4,000 hits. Like more hits in a day than my videos that I spend money on.
Right.
You know, and so interestingly enough, May 4th, we were putting on a free concert in Hoka called the Hoka Jam.
Okay, sure.
Me and my son, Shay and Chubba from Smoking Bandits are opening the show, and then the Wrecking Ball is going to play. We got the whole community involved. I met with the mayor.
Oh, no way.
And they are so pumped. And I got some sponsorships from the local. So we're going to do a big video there.
Right.
So yeah, it's a true story, and it's just a funny little song.
Yeah. Oh man, it's great. I absolutely love it. I must have listened to it 5 times this morning.
And that version of it, the live version, it's pretty good. I think it might be my favorite tune on there.
It is.
Because everybody's solos are just money too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone goes off. It's just crazy. It's crazy cool. Well, plus accordion, right? Isn't there accordion in there? Yeah. Who's playing that?
Her name is Katie.
Okay.
She runs the that venue up in Alma. The River Theater.
The theater up there.
Yeah,
I can't remember the name.
Partner, and then Alexander Green, she played a little bit.
Cool. Well, it's an instrument you don't hear that often anymore, but it fits so well. Well, of course, for the polka tune, but I just love it anyway. In any kind of Americana or whatever, I think it's great. Totally underutilized instrument, I think.
Yeah.
So what was that like when you played this in Hoka that night? That day, or whatever.
We haven't done it yet.
Oh, you haven't?
In Brownsville that night. It was awesome. Yeah.
That night in Brownsville.
People loved it.
People loved it.
The response I got, and and the Hoka, I met with like the Hoka historian lady down in the library in their little Hoka room. And she made all these books about Hoka, and we're actually revamping this softball jersey shirt.
No way.
So to say, I was at the first Hoka Jam, but it looks just because like their softball team is a big deal. The Hoka Chiefs and the mayor, a guy named Lee Tippery, he's taking me around to all these special cool places. Cool. Hoka's a beautiful town. There's
really is.
Como Falls Park, this giant waterfall goes through it.
Yep.
It's just this tiny little gem of a town.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, the community support has just been, and we're gonna have some like an antique car thing too. So if you got a nice car and you want it in a music video,
right?
I mentioned something. All these guys from Hoka have been sending me pictures of their souped up cars
and stuff.
So,
cool.
And I got a bunch of buddies. They're all bringing their Volkswagen van. I'm a van guy. I got a Volkswagen. I got a Ford. I got a Chevy. So we're gonna have them all down there, and it's gonna be a blast.
Very cool. I got to know one more question before we play it.
Yeah.
So that first night when you wrote it and played it, I want to know, by the end of that tune, were people singing along?
Oh, my God, yeah. People couldn't believe it.
Dude, what's that feel like?
It was great.
You just wrote it on break.
Wrote it in the car.
Dude, that's amazing.
I wrote 2 verses. I didn't have the 3rd verse.
Sure. But still.
And it was just a classic polka, it was great.
Yeah. It's catchy as heck. So I had imagined in my head, I'm like, I bet people were singing
Because one of my friends that's in the biz, he always he's like, you can't talk about lacrosse and you be specific because people can't relate to it that don't live here, and I don't care.
Yeah, no, I think it's great when people do.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah,
I got plenty of other songs that aren't about that. And I think it's good to have that community. I don't know what word.
Like
support,
connection,
not support, but camaraderie.
We
want to be a part of this. This is
right. It makes us all feel like we're part of your record, a part of your journey. Totally. Well, let's play it for folks, and then we can come back and gush about it some more. I'm sitting here talking tonight to Gregg Hall. Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball has a new live album out. It's called Live at First Avenue. This next tune is called the Hoka Polka, and you're listening to it on the Sound right here on 89.5 KQAL.
Falls, I found evidence called the Polka Polka. And the women there I find every day is a real good time when doing the Polka Polka. And if you have a beer and raise your glass to cheer all three of the Eugene truck guys, come on and have a ball, 'cause even down at City Hall they're doing the Polka Polka. Hey! Old Killer and the boys are cruising on their toys on their way to the Polka Polka, to the Main Street Saloon, getting housed at noon while doing the Polka Polka. Oh, get yourself a drink and you might smell the stink of a little marijuana smoke. It's legal there. Oh, have you heard the news? Not even cowgirls in the booth when doing the Polka Polka. Hey, pedal steel polka. Suffering Sam. Fiddle, bring us home. Everybody solo this time. How's everybody doing? You ready for the third verse? This is the truest of all the true stories ever told, ever. Now if you wanna blow your mind, well you better get in line and do the Polka Polka. Take this advice from me, it's the best damn place to be when doing the Polka Polka. And if you ever go, give a shout out to Joe Bo while you're living La Vita Loca. Everybody come on down, we're making smiles out of frowns while doing the Polka Polka. Oh, everybody come along to the dance and sing the song. That's called the Polka Polka.
That was the Hoka Polka, and that is a live track off of Live at First Avenue. That's the latest album by Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball, and I have Gregg in the studio with us tonight. Okay, so I don't know where we were on that one, but the Hoka Polka, man, super cool. And I want to know, before we move on from that, I mean, it's just a great song, great story. And I love that, like, you shout out by the third verse, you're like, this is the truest of all the true stories ever told. I freaking love that. And then you talk about Killer and the boys with their toys, and you just get a picture in your head of this little town, But you also say in there, even cowgirls get the blues, which is, a novel from the 90s. I think it was also a film from Gus Van Sant. Love that stuff. Do you do that a lot? Because to me, that's like a little Easter egg when I hear stuff like that.
Yeah, well, somebody told me, you mean write a country song or to put the name of a famous country song in it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I've done that a bunch of times.
Right. Oh, I love it. When I heard that, I was like, hey, wait, what? And then I had to rewind. So it made me listen to it again, I thought that was pretty cool. And again, I think that gives you, the listener, gives us an interaction with the album. Same thing about mentioning place.
Not even cowgirls get the blues.
Oh, that's right. That was the name of the book, wasn't it? In the movie.
The cowgirl, yeah. So,
but you're saying even cowgirls get the blues, right?
Even they don't get the blues doing the Hoka Polka.
Not even cowgirl. That's right. Okay, so I misheard it. I misheard it as the title. I know. I
was thinking that too.
Yeah. You're right. Not even. That's right. Because the movie in the book was even if the wow, it makes more sense now too. I get it. Okay, cool. I'm not always the quickest when it comes to lyrics.
I'm not either. I didn't even recognize it, and I wrote that. So.
That's awesome. And again, I think that, like I said, it gives us listeners like a way to interact. And so does place, man. Like mention La Crosse, mention Hoka, any of us that are from there or have seen you there, it gives us that connection, which I love. I know I've asked you this a million times, man, but just for our listeners, like, where's the best place people can find out about like shows, merch, stuff like that?
GreggHallMusic.com, GreggHall music.com. That's got all the stuff about Dees Fest, the Hoka Jam, the shows coming up. We got a lot of stuff down the line this summer. It's going to be a fun summer.
Oh my God, yeah! I almost forgot to ask you about that Dees Fest. Yeah. You've released the lineup already, right?
I put out the poster this morning, actually.
I love it, man. Killer lineup from what I remember seeing. Absolutely love it, though. I've only been to one Dees Fest so far, but I had a blast.
Yeah, it's a good time.
So good.
And it's, some of these bigger festivals, for the amount you would pay for one ticket to those big festivals, you could bring your whole family to Dees Fest. And the musicians are great around here, it's a smaller festival for the bands that can't get into Blue Ox.
Right.
And those bigger, and Bolts, the bigger festivals. They're hard to get into. I've been doing it for 25 years. I can't even get into them.
Right.
Unless I got to meet somebody or keep plugging away. So I feel like this is an opportunity for those bands that can't quite get that status or whatever to start somewhere,
Yeah. And it's like got that like small, it's a Bluebird campground.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
It's got that cool kind of family
in the heart of the Driftless. And the cool thing about it is my family lives in that valley. My family has lived in that valley since 1867.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
The two big farmhouses that you see on the way there were my great uncle and my great grandfather. Cool. And my dad owns an hobby farm orchard. Cool. He's the last one of the family.
Wow.
And I'm working on transitioning out there myself. So it's really cool for me because I feel like a lot of ancestral vibes, like protection over there.
Right.
It's really cool.
Totally.
It's just and I grew up out there.
Yeah.
Partying there at Bluebird. You could do whatever we wanted in high school back then.
Right. Yeah. Different time period back then.
Not anymore. But
it's got that mojo then. Right?
Yeah. And they've redone it. It's beautiful. My friend Matt Freng bought it. Him and his wife. Her family owned it.
Okay.
But they've came in and redone it all.
Cool.
And everything's nice.
Oh, it's a great place.
People.
Yeah.
So July 24th to the 26th.
Excellent. End of July, basically. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, get out there. Cheech, Dees Fest. Yeah, Dees Fest. Is there any shows or anything coming up? What's next for you?
Well, White Iron Band.
Okay.
And we're playing our annual show this Friday at Floyd's.
Okay. Cool. And that's Friday?
This Friday at Floyd's. Okay. I'll be opening for the White Iron Band. I'll be playing with them too. And then Saturday I'm at the Humble Moon Saloon in Stockholm at noon to 3.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And then in Tanzenwald Brewing, I think it's their 5th or 6th anniversary up in Northfield. I'm there 7 to 10 Saturday night.
Really? Oh, wow.
So
dang, you get a busy weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stockholm. I really like that little town.
It's awesome.
It's such a cool little
super
town.
Cool.
Yeah.
I could
Oh my
retire
gosh.
there.
I know, right? I think that every time I drive through it. And that's Saturday then?
Saturday
You're doing
at noon,
Stockholm
yeah.
at noon? And then you go to Northfield after that?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Well, GreggHallMusic.com for more information about that stuff, right?
Yep.
So, Gregg, thanks so much for coming in. This last tune that we're going to play, man, it's another one of those place songs I was talking about. This one really hits home for me. It's from the Echoes from the Treetops, Going Home, right? I think anyone... I used to drive truck over the road, so I know that feeling like coming down that hill. I know dying, and you're like, oh my God, now I'm home. You know, it was cool when I was back in the Midwest, but now I'm home. I'll be home. I'll be sitting at my kitchen table in 20 minutes. You know, it's
whatever.
like, dude.
Absolutely.
So I absolutely love that. I think anyone who's ever, come home from out west or something knows this exact feeling with these exact lyrics. So absolutely love it. Just kind of remind us. I know we've talked about this in the past, but how did this one come about for you, inspiration?
Well, I was just, we were doing this record, and I just was writing songs, and I just had that. I had the Going Home, that part, and then I just. It was pretty easy to write.
Oh, I bet,
because I was on the road by myself. Because I travel alone quite a bit, so I'm writing songs in my head. And,
right. That's what I wondered.
It just came together.
I wondered
I don't
if
know.
Like you drove through Nodine and bam, the lyrics just like went into your head.
That feeling I get though, because I've made that trip to Minneapolis and back probably a million times in the last 20 years. You know?
Totally.
So it's like when I finally get there, like that Nodine sign, like yes.
Right.
So just I don't.
This is natural.
It was just natural. That one just came to me, I guess. And then
the
video, we shot in like Trempealeau, and so it's really cool.
That's awesome.
With the rivers and the bluffs and all that
exactly,
stuff.
Right. All the stuff we love about living
driftless,
here.
relatable.
Yeah, exactly. Driftlessable or something, maybe? I don't know.
I try not to overuse that word. I feel like it gets a little bit overused. It used to be like this cool thing nobody knew, but now it's just,
now they want to turn it into a national park.
Yeah.
We won't get into that today.
No.
So, well, hey, like I said, man, thanks so much for stopping by.
You're welcome, and it's always a pleasure being here.
Totally.
It's
Absolutely
the nostalgia being around this campus, because we spent a lot of time back in the day and playing at Rascals. We played a gig at
I love
Fat
that place.
Mall. I think at Sunset, that hall right across the way.
So, sure, yeah.
A lot of memories in Winona. We had a lot of good times.
Cool.
Eds and all in boats and Midwest Music Fest. It's just it's a really cool scene, and I'm happy to be included in it every once in a while.
Yeah, totally. Sounds good, man. Well, we love supporting you. We love your music that you put out, so appreciate it. We've been here talking to Gregg Hall tonight of Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball. New album is called Live at First Avenue, and it is exactly what you'd think. It's a live recording from their show at First Avenue. And this last track is the last tune on the album. It's called Going Home. And you're listening to it on The Sound right here on 89.5 KQAL.
Yeah, Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball, thank you for having us. Clap real loud, we'll do one more. I'm from Wisconsin, but Minnesota, Minneapolis has been my second home for a long time. And I love you all. Out here on the road at night with the thoughts upon my mind. Halfway through Nebraska, man, I'm making damn good time. I'm going home. Yeah, I'm going home. Out on the road, this old boy's had enough. I miss my friends and family and the rivers and the bluffs. I'm going home. Yeah, I'm going home. 9-mile drive to the borderline in the Minnesota moon. shining bright, I got it loud, telling me I'll be there soon. I'm going home. Yeah, I'm going home. Drive through the hills that intertwine, coming down the valley road outside of Old Mill. Down, I'm going home. Yeah, I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm going home. Yeah, I'm going home. I love you all. I'm going home.
Thanks again to Gregg Hall for joining us tonight on The Sound. To hear more from Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball, look them up at gregghallmusic.com, Bandcamp, or your favorite streaming and social media platforms. For more deep dives into local and regional albums, tune into The Sound every Wednesday night at 6, right here on 89.5 KQAL. You can also listen to past episodes of The Sound with extended interviews and exclusive content on your favorite streaming services. Find links at kqal.org. I'm Bill Stoneberg, and we've just heard from local legend Gregg Hall and the Wrecking Ball on The Sound. Thanks for listening to The Sound. The Sound is produced by KQAL-FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us online at kqal.org. Theme music for The Sound provided by Mike Terrell of Fires of Denmark.